I got the horse right here. The name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that...
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Monday, May the 18th races at Hastings. We don't race on the Sunday. We race Saturday and Monday this weekend, but we do have 8 races, 2 stakes.
Post time 150 on the holiday Monday, Victoria Day card. As you mentioned, 8 races. Two good stakes. Stakes for older girls and older boys. The second of the meet for the older boys and older girls.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather holds, and Victoria Day will be fun.
Well, you get a day off after the Preakness to recover, and then we go back to the races on Monday.
Head back to Hastings for a good 8-race card. We're going to start things off with a field of 6 in race number 1. 12-5 maidens. We're going to have 5 colts and geldings. 1 filly challenging the boys in here. Going that 6.5 furlong distance. I went with a 3-horse Flame Eternal. I'm always loyal to the 4-year-olds against the older horses, and I will maintain that. This horse has worked well for Ron Deot, and good runner-up effort in his final start against Nick Dememzi. A little faster time than it looks like on paper. That was a pretty quick track, but still not facing too many tough opponents. Flame Eternal for me. I put the 6-horse Mario's Win for Craig McPherson in for second, and the 2-horse Power to Believe for Rob Van Overshot for third, but didn't love anyone. I went 3-6-2.
I went with the 6 on top, Mario's Win. That was a decent race he came out of. Yeah, that's right. Mario Gutierrez is in town to ride Mr. Bowling in the older boys stake. So there's the hunch play. I went with Mario's Win in the first race. He cuts his price in half. That was a decent race. It was kind of a funny race, that call it even race. He went to the lead and he kind of got some pressure, and they went decent fractions. It was his first out of the year, so I like the fact that he's got the race under his belt, and Craig McPherson is due for some luck in this early meet, as he is currently 16-0 with 5 runner-up places. So I got Mario's Win on top. Flame Eternal, the horse you mentioned, of the Ron Deot barn in the second spot. I went with the girl, Remarkable Lady, in the third spot. She did run in that opening maiden special weight. It was a tough race. She got beat 16 lengths, but Meg Geary won by 7. Then Rockport Dancer was ahead of Anastasia's Last by a length, and then Anastasia's Last was 2.5. You start adding that up. She didn't get beat all that far for third, and she drops in for 12-5. It is against the boys, but I'll give her the nod for the third spot. I went 6-3-1 in the opener. On to the second, 3-year-olds and up, claiming 16,000, non-3 lifetime, and I've gone to the 2 in here. DJ Snow, he is a bit ahead of his condition, or sorry, he's non-2, non-3 BC bred. He is a BC bred, so he will get a second crack at this one. But I just think he's got kind of a bit more back class than these. He's running against tougher horses like Tracker and Hope Seeker, and his last one beat by a well-met Brackendale. He got beat 2.5, so I like DJ Snow in here. I got John's father, Mel, in the second spot, Carson City Brown. He moves to Antonio Reyes. He was in that After the Conflict Rebus race. I like the rider change there. That was last year. Marty was riding him, but I like the fact that Reyes had some options in here, and he elects to go with Carson City Brown, who's making his first start. In the third spot, I put Strangely Rousing. Just broke his maiden in a maiden 16, but did it very impressively ahead of Kiss 'Em Goodbye. Won by 3 with Pedro Alvarado, who's currently our leading rider. He retains the mount. I went 2, 1, and 3. Stayed down near the rail for this one.
Yeah, so did I. I agree with you. The 2-horse DJ Snow is definitely your horse to beat. Exiting far tougher races last year, and his first run this year was a very encouraging effort from an inside draw. Didn't get the best of trips, kind of shuffled back a bit in spots, still rallied to be third. I thought it was a good race, as good as anyone else anyway.
Yeah.
I put the 3-horse Strangely Arousing, just broke his maiden for 16, but it's a 4-year-old. Once again, going with the older horses in these races is always a good thing, but they're actually all older horses. But still, Pedro sticks with them. That was a pretty easy win over Kiss 'Em Goodbye, and I think this horse has got a lot of upside. Look for this horse to move forward. Has some speed to be in play, too. And the 1-horse, Carson City Brown, as you mentioned, a live horse that has some pace to him, and it's Antonio Reyes from El Snow. Good work, Tab, for his first start of the year. But I just went to the 2 horses that had started. The 2, those are your 3 horses, the 1, 2, and 3. But because the 2 and 3 have started, I'm leaning that way. I went 2, 3, and 1 in the Monday second race. On to the third. Got some maiden $16,000 claimers. 3-year-olds here going 6.5 furlongs, just straight 3-year-old race. I ended up on the 2-horse Kiss 'Em Goodbye, coming out of the aforementioned Strangely Arousing race, running against an older horse that beat him, and put a lot of pressure on him at the far turn. He hung in tough to the head of the lane before tiring to run second, but still, this horse running in his own age group, this horse will be really tough, I would think, from a good inside draw. I think he's a big wire-to-wire candidate. The 2-horse, Kiss Him Goodbye. Put the 3-horse Heart Set in for second, dropping in class from 25,000. Dreadful trip, 4 wide. The post kind of did him in. That's the one thing I don't like about the 6 furlong races here at Hastings. I'd rather them be 6.5, all 6.5. 6 furlong races here are really tough on horses. And this horse just got hung out, and you just don't have enough room and time going into the first turn to get position. This horse didn't get any, so give him another shot from a better post. And I put the 8-horse Stone Ridge Ruler in for third for Craig McPherson. I went 2, 3, and 8.
I got similar horses. I put the 2 Kiss 'em Goodbye on top, as you mentioned. It'll be interesting to see how Strangely Rousing runs in that first race. It'll give you a good idea.
Good.
Of,
I think it's a pretty cool horse.
Yeah, so it'll give you a good idea of how live Kiss 'em Goodbye is in the second. I put Too Much Johnson. I go back to the Mike Anderson barn. All his horses are running well. He comes out of that Call It Even race, which was a bit of a schmozzle, and he was back. And
he trouble trip.
Yeah, he didn't have a great trip, and he made up good ground too, right? He was 8 lengths out of it. He ended up 3 out of it. So. And that was his first start, so I looked for him to progress into his second start, and I got Too Much Johnson in the second spot. And Heart Set, the horse you mentioned you had in the second spot, definitely a horse that had a troubled trip last time and could move forward in this one. Heart Set in the third spot. 2, 7, and 3 for me in the third. On to the fourth, the Strawberry Morn, 6.5 for fillies and mares. I went to the one Rather Beautiful out of the Dino Condolinos barn for Swift Thoroughbreds. Nobody closed opening weekend, and she did. I thought that was a super impressive race under Rico Walcott. Rico is back here to ride Rather Beautiful today and title contender later on in the boys' stake. But with Hollywood Miss in here, the only thing that could hurt her is if there's not enough pace. If Hollywood Miss gets away, sets easy fractions, it's going to be tougher to run her down. But I just couldn't ignore that move opening weekend. Was super impressive. I put her on top. I put Hollywood Miss in the second spot. I believe she's going to get the lead. If Lopez can get her to relax a little bit more. Last time she was kind of fighting on the bit and went in 44 and 3. If that's a 45 or 40, high 45s, 45 and change, she might be able to hang on and do it. In the third spot, I put Arabella's Muse. Ran a corker last time. I like the fact she came back on May 10th, worked in 46 and 3, first out of 31 horses. She's on her toes here under Richard Hamlin, another one that I wouldn't throw out. I mean, tough to throw out. I don't have Ollie's Miss in there either, and I think she'll move forward off that first one. First time she's been out of the money in a while since the Ballerina last year, so I went 1, 3, and 5.
Yeah, I agree with the top 3. I mean, I think the 2 Wonder Woman, the 4 Dance the Wind, and the 6 Ollie's Miss are all route horses. They're gonna flourish when the distances get longer, hopefully for them. But there's not a lot of speed in this race. It's Hollywood Miss going to the front, Arabella's Muse sitting off her boot, or Lopez's boot, and they're just gonna I just don't see the pace being very fast. I'm gonna go to Arabella's Muse. I got to go to her to win it. I thought she ran a huge race last time. Everyone else had run, or the horses that beat her. Rather Beautiful has been running all winter and been fresh, or been totally
fit,
seasoned, and the 3 Hollywood Miss been running all winter at Golden Gate. Arabella's Muse coming off a huge layoff since the BC Oaks in September, and this horse, as you mentioned, runs a cracker and runs second. And I thought it was a brilliant race, or third, pardon me, a brilliant race. And I think she can turn the tables on the top 2. Rather Beautiful is obviously a very gifted filly and probably going to flourish when they go longer as well. And it's amazing to see her win going.
If you are going to beat her, it'll be when you're running short.
And this track, last track didn't favor speed, or didn't favor closers, sorry, and she still won. And, maybe I'm fighting a losing battle here, but I like her. If anyone's going to win here, I think it'll be Arabella's Muse over Rather Beautiful and Hollywood Miss. Hollywood Miss, that was her shot to win, I thought, last time.
Yeah.
And Rather Beautiful got the dough. And they're 3 nice fillies that went down there in a fast time. It was fast as fast as the boys. And so, that was a huge effort. I went 5-1-3. I'm going Arabella's Muse to win it. On to the 5th race, $8,000 claimers going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up taking the 5-horse Brother Chunky. I think this horse is pretty live. Chased some fast fractions last time at the same level. Ran second to London, who was well meant. And actually, that was an open 8. He gets into a conditional 8 here. This is a drop for Brother Chunky, so I liked him to win it. Put the 8-horse to Milky Mean Joey, who's also on the class drop. He's was running against a lot better horses last year, but a little suspicious to see him down this low. But still, he's got a lot of ability, and he's got a good 80% game in him. He's going to be a force. And the 9, Occupy Vancouver, has been running all winter. I thought he ran a good 4th last time against Brackendale and laundered money. That was a pretty good effort. I'll put him in for 3rd. I didn't love anyone here. Erebus has a shot. Peyton's Best is cool. Goliath's dropping. Uncle Willard, Majestic. It's an odd race where I didn't love anyone. But I do like Brother Chunky. He ran against Open 8, against London, Lookout Dubai. Those were open horses. This is a conditional race. This is a lot easier. I went 5, 8, 9.
I went with Goliath. I think Dino's off to a good start, and this guy's been running higher all of his life. It's the first time he's ever run for a tag, and he takes a drop down to 8,000. We've seen Dino do that a few times this year with Bullet last weekend, with, who was the other one that he dropped in? High Force. When he's dropping these horses in for a price, in the lower levels, they're running through the bridle and they win. And I put Goliath on top. Brother Chunk, as you mentioned, he's the horse to beat in here. I did put him in the 2nd spot, but would not be surprised to see him in the winner's circle. As you mentioned, coming out of an open 8 into a conditional 8, big difference there. But I do like Goliath over him. And I put Peyton's Best. He's a cool horse.
Honest.
He is super honest. I liked him last time, and he kind of disappointed in that Brackendale race, but he does cut his price in half for Hall of Fame trainer Harold Barabee. I went 4, 5, and 7 in the 5th. On the 6th, Fillies and Mares Maiden 4,000, going 6.5. And I've gone to the 5, Easter Sunday out of the Jim Brown barn. She ran into Bullet in Silver Ovation last time, and Bullet was a very well-meant winner. Yeah. Easter Sunday only ran the once last year, didn't really get anything out of it, so it was almost like her first start. And I thought ran a very good, solid, even race. Got the lead. Maybe just got a little tired, but with that race under her belt, I think she bounces back and runs a good one for Jim Brown, who's off to a good start. Speaking of good starts, so is Mark Buchanan. So I got Easter Sunday on top. I put Storm in the Bay out of the Steve Henson barn. Pedro Alvarado takes the call. It is a first-time starter. Encouraged to see Pedro take the call, our leading rider right now. I imagine he's been aboard for a few of these works. And Steve Henson, 5 of 8 of his horses have hit the 2nd spot. He finally broke through and got a winner last Sunday, but his horses are all running very good. It's a good news, bad news situation. He was kind of snake bit and had second-itis, but they're all running very well. So I think Storm the Bay's got a shot in here. And in the 3rd spot, I put Cape Away out of the Craig McPherson barn. 4 chances, 2 seconds and a 3rd in those 4 chances, and Richard Hamill will ride for Craig McPherson. I went 5, 3, and 1.
I agree with the 5-horse Easter Sunday for the reasons you mentioned. This horse got caught up in a fast pace with the best horse in the race, Bullet. And it's unfortunate when
Bullet, who's taking a huge
the best
drop,
horse, dropping your main allowance, buries you at the quarter pole. Unfortunately,
you did pretty good to hang on for 3rd.
He got beat a mile, but I mean, this horse will not be pressured like he was. There's no bullets in this race, so he won't. He'll get the lead to himself, and I just think, or she will. And I think it's going to be awfully tough. I like the 5 Easter Sunday to go wire to wire. Put the 1-horse Cape Away in for 2nd out of the Craig McPherson outfit. Good runs last year. Works are excellent. A little leery about the fact there's only 1 5/8 work, but I'm going to try him for 2nd, or her, pardon me. And I put the 7-horse Be a Whole Auger for Rob Maben. This horse ran I thought a pretty good race against better company. I thought it was a good race. I know it was the same level, but the Cassidy and Command race I thought was pretty good. And this horse didn't get the best of trips, and I put him in for 3rd. I think he can rally, but I like the 5 Easter Sunday as you do. I went 5, 1, and 7. On to the 7th race, the co-feature. This is the Johnny Longden 6,000, named after the Hall of Fame, obviously great rider Johnny Longden, who did win a 6,000th race here on Prince Scorpion back in 1965.
Good memory. Was it nice that day there, Mike?
I wasn't there, but I just know it was. I can see the picture. It's in the steward's office. Not that I visit the stewards.
Yeah.
Well, I visit the stewards, but not for any nefarious reasons. But the Johnny Longden 6,000, always one of our signature races for older horses. I just see a lot of pace in here. I think Modern's going to go.
Yep.
Herbie D is going to give him no break with Pedro in the saddle. Rico will not give either one of those two a break with Title Contender. I just see things being a little silly.
Yeah.
I've gone to the 2, Mr. Bowling. Not probably his best distance, 6.5. But Mario gets a lot of run out of him.
Yeah,
Mario Gutierrez returning to the saddle. It's great to see Mario back in town. I'm going to go to Mr. Bowling to win it. Put the 4-horse the 6-horse Herbie D in for second over Modern. I think Herbie D can turn the tables. This was his first run in a year and a half. Got to give Herbie D a pass on the last race. He had to run hard. It's hard. Rob Gilker does a great job, and it's hard to get a horse ready to run 21-44 off a year and a half against these classy horses in stakes races and perform well. He'll be a lot better this time. I got him in for second, Modern for third. I've left Title Contender off, and
we can only pick 3.
He had every shot last time. That's the only thing negative.
Yeah.
Title Contender had every shot to win last time. Had Modern and Herbie D going crazy.
Yeah.
Title Contender had the perfect trip, right in behind. Almost looked like he was going to make the lead. Modern came back and beat him, which disappointed me. I don't see Title Contender beating Modern, unless, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but these are all nice horses. This is a good race.
You have to leave somebody out. We can only take 3.
Yeah, this is a good race. I went 2-4 and 7, or 2-6-4. Pardon me.
That's the same problem I ran into. Is you have to leave somebody out.
7. I think I saw 2-4-7 somewhere, but I got 2-6-4.
I went with Mr. Bowling too. Mario suits this horse very well. I think that's he only got beat a length and a quarter last time with young rider Janine Smith. Now he gets Mario Gutierrez, who knows this horse very well, and I think that will move him forward. Like you mentioned, there's going to be a lot of pace in here for Mario to run at. Good to have Mario back in Vancouver for the holiday Monday, and I think he can get in the winner's circle here. I put Modern in the second one. Modern ran a huge race last time.
He did. He's a nice horse.
That was an over-the-top race. Yeah, he could win again. I was a little discouraged to see the buyer here. Not that buyers mean the be-all, end-all, but he only got a 78 for that buyer. I thought that would be a higher number for as hard as he ran. He might have been a little over the top. Maybe that took a lot out of him, but I think if he repeats that effort, he's right there. I got Modern in the second spot. And I put Title Contender because I like his stalk and pounce style and the fact that he always seems to hit the board. Trader Nina Bolton off to a good start, too. So Rico Walcott actually booked off him last time, too. He won on Rather Beautiful. And got a little dehydrated. He almost fainted in the winner's circle, so he did book off, and Pedro rode him, and Rico does very well on this horse. I did leave out Herbie D, and you can't excuse that last one. I had to leave somebody out.
That's a bad thing. I left out Title Contender. I know what you're saying. It's hard to leave out a legitimate horse of the year.
Yeah, exactly. One of the nicer horses around here, and
award winner.
I don't even have him in the top 3, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him at the board. Classic Sense are the Dino Condolinio's barn. He only got beat 2 3/4 in his first run around this track. He was part of the package that brought Rather Beautiful here, and he gets Antonio Reyes this time. So Classic Sense is another one that could move forward a little bit. But I had to pick 3. I put Mr. Bowling on top of Modern and Title Contender. 2-4-7 for me in the John Longden. On to the 8th. 3-year-olds end up going 4,000, non-2 going 6.5, and I did go to the 4 here. Grand Jury out of the Troy Taylor barn. I looked for Troy to win the late double. Wasn't for 16 last time. He does have the race under his belt. It was a live race. Mighty Fraser came back and won again. So I got Grand Jury on top. He drops down to the $4,000 level. I think he's very tough in here. I put the 5, My Secret Cause, or the Nancy Betts barn. Thought enough of him. They ran him in a few stakes last time. Last year broke his maiden for 25 under Amadeo Perez, and they tried a couple stakes. Tried the 14, that Brackendale race. It was his first time, and he switches from Alex Marti to Antonio Reyes and drops to 4. So I think he's live in here. And the third spot I put At the Ritz out of the Rob Van Overschut barn. 2 run-up efforts in his last 2. One was at the end of last year, and one was behind So Legit in his first start this year. Nice to have the race under his belt, so I got him in the third spot. 4, 5, and 1 for me in the feature, or the nightcap, I should say.
I agree with the 4-horse Grand Jury. I mean, this horse looks like a slam dunk winner. First run of the year, chasing out 3 wide against next out winner Mighty Fraser. I mean, this horse did a lot of running and ended up 6. I mean, this horse ran a huge race. None of these horses could run against that particular type of field and fare as well as he did with the wide trip. So I got to pick Grand Jury with David Lopez for Troy Taylor. Put the 1 horse At the Ritz in for second. Howard Newell re-rides for Rob Van Overschut. Good runner-up effort against So Legit, who was an easy winner for Dave Milburn that day. I put the 3, Lord Galovic, in for third. The horse was well back.
I picked him last time.
The horse ran horribly.
Yeah.
I mean, there must have been a reason. This horse has got his races last fall were plenty good enough to be competitive in here, and I'm not just going to give up on him after one really subpar effort. So I'll give him another shot. In the Phil Hall barn, going great. Keyshawn Balgobin rise. I went 4, 1, and 3 in the Monday finale. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Holiday Victoria Day Monday program. Up next on screen will be our selections, or a little recap. Here are my selections. Back in race number 1, I went to the 3-horse Flame Eternal over the 6 and 2. Race number 2, I went to the 2, DJ Snow over the 3, Strangely Arousing, and the 1, Carson City Brown. Race number 3, I went to the 2, Kiss 'Em Goodbye, 2, 3, and 8, hoping for a wire-to-wire performance. Race number 4, I went to the 5, Arabella's Muse, maybe to turn the tables on the 1, Rather Beautiful, and the 3, Hollywood Miss, but a great renewal of the Strawberry Moor. Going to be a lot of fun to watch that. 5th race, number 5, Brother Chunky over the 8, Similkameen and Joey, and the 9, Occupy Vancouver. Race number 6, the 5, Easter Sunday over the 1, Cape Away, and the 7, Be a Whole Auger. And in the 7th race, the Johnny Longdon 6000. And hopefully Mr. Bowling can strike over the 6, Herbie D, and the 4, Modern. And in the 8th and final, number 4, Grand Jury, 4, 1, and 3 in the Monday finale. On to Drew's picks.
In the first, I went to the 6, Mario's Win, in honor of Mario showing up into town, over the 3 and the 1. In the second, I agree with Mike on number 2, DJ Snow, over the 1 and the 3. In the third, I went back to the 2, Kiss 'Em Goodbye, over the 7 and the 3. In the fourth, I went to the impressive mare, Rather Beautiful, the 1, over the Hollywood Miss and Arabella's Muse. In the fifth, I went to the 4, Goliath, looking for Dino to get back-to-back winners, over the 5 and the 7. In the sixth, I'm with Mike on number 5, Easter Sunday. Actually, the late pick 3, me and Mike got the same ones. Sixth race, number 5, Easter Sunday, over the 3 and the 1. In the 7th, number 2, Mr. Bowling, over the 4, Modern, and the 7, Title Contender. And the nightcap, the 8th, number 4, Grand Jury, over the 5 and the 1.
Well, that'll do it for this edition of Handicappers Corner. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Once again, if you can't make it on the holiday Monday to Hastings, you've always got the Derby Bar and Grill to watch lots of simulcast racing, as well as the 8-race live program from Hastings. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a great weekend. We're back to the Saturday, Sundays next week. Of course, we'll be back on, I think it's the 23rd and 24th. Yeah, Saturday the 23rd and Sunday the 24th. Get back to the Saturday, Sunday routine at Hastings after the holiday Monday. On behalf of Drew, thanks to everyone for tuning in to Handicappers Corner, and we'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.